But let's move on to the team that actually made the deal to actually ship Harden, the Rockets, where they go ahead in this deal. They add, I had the Shams tweet up, Oladipo, Dante Exum, they get Karooks, and then they get all the picks from the Brooklyn Nets.
And the
And
Cleveland pick via Milwaukee.
yes, the 2022 first rounder. Good point. The thing I will ask you is, if you were the GM, is this the move? Is this the best move? Or should they have entertained the 76er offer more because of Ben Simmons? Or do you think they made this move because of all the moving parts with the Pacers and the Cavs, and the Pacers and the Cavs wanted Jarrett Allen and Karis LeVert, and you only get those if you make a trade with the Nets?
I don't think they're doing anybody a favor. I think they're always, you got to look out for number one.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that this deal got done with the Nets over the Sixers, probably over the line of one of those young players getting attached.
Mm-hmm.
In the deal, they probably wouldn't have been able to flip like a Maxey and
for an Oladipo.
Thibault for Oladipo. Oh, yeah. I think that would probably be the contest there. It's like they had a plan in their mind of how they wanted to run that lineup out there. Because on paper, Ben Simmons plus John Wall, it doesn't exactly seem like a great backcourt. You do need someone who can shoot the ball and is happy to shoot the ball. So I understand the concerns there. But I think overall they did land a good haul. They got a lot of picks. And again, between this and the Russell Westbrook trade, they've recouped a lot of draft capital that they lost from trading for Russell Westbrook. So
Yeah,
I think all in all, like they have a good balance of like moving forward. This team can compete this year. If they choose to re-sign Victor Oladipo, they can continue to compete, and they will still have plenty of picks in the future. Yes, they're not early picks to start, but who knows? By 2024, 2025, you might be looking at some really good picks. You could be looking at some good shit over there. And again, it's at the cost of giving up one of the best players in the league. But clearly, that was a situation that could not be salvaged. So the fact that you were able to recoup what you did is awesome in my mind.
Yeah, and I mean, the picks to me are the one thing I wanted to focus, because like Oladipo, adding him instead of Ben Simmons. I think Karis would have worked, but like Oladipo is more proven than Karis. Like I feel like that's what the Rockets wanted, somebody more proven. Plus the Pacers, I feel like now that this trade was made, the rumors that we talked about before the season started were true. Oladipo didn't want to be there.
It's that did not. I think everybody understood that they were the comments made for the public, so they would get off my back while I do my job as a GM and make the moves happen behind the closed doors.
Like there's a part of me that feels like I don't necessarily know if it's this year, because like you got to think. So this year, if the Rockets have a top 4 pick, they keep their pick. Otherwise,
they will not have a top 4 pick.
I'm just saying, Dave. Otherwise, it goes to Miami and OKC, and 2 most favorable to OKC. They also, if Detroit is 17 through 30, they get Detroit's pick. That probably won't happen.
It will not happen.
But Portland, 15 through 30, they will most likely get Portland's pick this year. So because of that, in the future, you add these picks plus the Detroit pick, because next year it's a 17 through 30, if not settled, then a 19 through 30, then a 19 through 30, then 14 through 30, then 12 through 30, and then in 2027 it's a 10 through 30, if not already settled. So they've got that future pick as well, to where I'm almost looking at this team to where another reason they made this deal with the Nets is not only to get Victor Oladipo, to now have 3 stars on their team, well, people that they think are stars, in Boogie, Wall, and Oladipo.
I would say Christian Wood over Boogie.
But if they wanted to add another piece in the future, they can. They have the draft capital, in my mind, to make any trade they wanted for any player that comes up between now and 2027.
100% agree. This is a team where their own pick is out of their hands most years, so it is just like, hey, we can compete, we can be competitive, and if someone wants to, and like things line up, we have that firepower to get ourselves involved in any kind of deal to help us go for a championship. This is very much like, I don't want to say like it's a weird, like they're in the middle of the league as far as like talent, like or as far as record goes. I'll say they'll be in the middle, upper end, but still middle. And I think they're just going to be constantly competing. I don't think they're ever going to be like at that top, championship expectation until something happens. It's the like, who becomes available, some big trade deal can get made and they can swing around like a bunch of these draft picks or swaps or whatever.
Yeah.
But it sets them up really nicely, assuming they re-sign Victor Oladipo to a long-term deal. That is the big like asterisk on all of this is draft picks are wonderful. We love draft picks around here. We absolutely adore them. But Karis LeVert is someone who would have had contract control. Victor Oladipo on that final year of his deal. So you do have to go, let's get a deal done. Let's lay out some long-term plans for you, Vic. We love to have you here long-term to work with John Wall going forward.
I mean, and that's the other thing that I was going to bring up, why I like the amount of picks. Because first off, you mentioned their own pick is out of their hands most years. You're right. The only years from now until 2027 where their pick has no like ifs, stands, or buts, like it's their pick, is 2022, so next year, 2023, and then 2027. Other than that, they're only getting their first pick in 23, 24, and 26 if they end up in the top 4. And then in 2025, if they end up in the top 10, they keep their own pick. So most likely 2023 to 2026, they don't have their own pick. Now they will have picks to kind of recoup. And like, they even may have, let's put it this way too, like, let's say, because I was going to say Vic on the final deal, this gives them capital to, if Vic does walk, let's say at the end of the year, Vic's like, hey.
What if they sign and trade Vic?
They could sign and trade Vic, or re-sign him if he does walk, either sign and trade or outright like, fuck you, I'm just going to go over here. Like kind of like Gordon Hayward did to the Celtics.
He signed and trade.
That's right, he did. Never mind. That's my fault. Never mind.
After everything, he did actually go through with the sign and trade.
Who's the last one that didn't do that? I mean, Bogdan didn't, but that was because they fucked up that trade before free agency like actually started, and there was like tampering investigation.
Yeah.
Has there ever been a player that hasn't done that?
Sign and trade only started like 2 years ago.
Okay.
So it's not like it's an old thing. So. We really only saw them come to light in the last couple of years. I can't recall off the top of my head like a situation where they were like, "Nah, I'm not signing trade. I won't take the sign trade. I want to go somewhere where you can't somehow swing a deal to extend a contract out." So,
but the other thing I was thinking is, let's say they do keep Vic. Vic is on the team. Could this be a strategy of like, okay, we have picks to where, let's say there's a draft class. We want to move up for like kind of what we thought Boston would do. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, hey, we like Tyler Hero. Let's go ahead and, oh, wait, Miami picked him. But we had all 3 picks here. We could have tried to move up, but Danny Ainge isn't in Houston. That's probably the best part about Houston right now. But I mean, that to me is more enticing too. Of like, if there's a draft class from now until 2027 that they like someone that not necessarily at the top, because I don't know if you're going to move up all the way to 1. You can go ahead and move up. Get your boy, like you just said.
Yeah, I think this definitely wasn't the easiest way to turn around a team that had 2 stars on it that absolutely did not work. But at the end of the day, the results from all their dealings, I mean, I'd honestly be like, it's not the best team in the league, but I think that you've put together a competitive squad with upside, and the future's not terrible. Like, you aren't hopeless going forward. I think you guys have the possibility to reload. You have the possibility to compete at the same time. So I think all in all, it's a good job by the new regime for the Rockets.
Yeah.
Do I think that, had this all been avoided, they could have, still had Chris Paul on this team and maybe won something, but whatever. Not here nor there at this point.
Yeah. The other part that I think about, and yet again, I don't think this is what happened, Dave. It's just funny to think about. Was there a part where it's like, no, we're not going to work with we're not going to make a trade with 76ers. We don't want to help Daryl Morey.
I'm going to play just a little bit of a percent chance.
I mean, I think it's more the Karis over not having Karis because they might have wanted Vic.
It was the Karis flip that probably did it.
Yeah.
Because that was probably like, in their head, they're going like, great. We'd love to have Ben Simmons. He's definitely more talented than Karis LeVert.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we can take Karis, flip Karis to get Vic, who we really like. And Ben Simmons, John Wall's not a great fit. So can we flip John Wall or Ben? Like, how would that work going forward? If you want to rebuild around Ben Simmons, which you absolutely could, how would you move John Wall's contract, which you just, had to take on? On the upside, you did show that he is still very good at basketball, which a lot of people did not believe.
Well, that's the other thing, too, of like, if let's say they were like, okay, we really want Oladipo. Like, let's say they put both, like, hey, Karis could be if we do it with this, if this works. What about Ben Simmons? If I'm the Pacers, I'd be like, first off,
if you made Ben Simmons play the 5 for you as the Rocket, like, how cool would that be?
That'd be awesome. Fucking just put him down. Like you said with the Sixers tonight, just fucking throw Ben out there at the 2. Because it was Jake was like, Curry at the 2, this at the 3. And you're like, no, fucking Embiid at the 2.
Joe, as in Isaiah Joe.
Okay.
When
I saw that in the Discord, I was like,
shots left and right.
Okay. I saw that and I was like, yeah, put Embiid at the 2. See what that's like.
Different Joe. Joe with an E at the end.
Joe with an E at the end.
Yeah. The best sharpshooter in college basketball last year, Isaiah Joe.
But like I was saying, like with Ben, if it was trying to get like, oh, we'll give you a Ben for an Oladipo thing, would the Pacers then have to give up more because you're getting Ben Simmons? And 2, then it's like, all right, now we got Brogdon and Ben. They have almost the same problem.
Like, those 2. That's awesome for them.
Is it? Because the whole thing I was hearing is that the thing that is great about Karis is that he might work better next to Brogdon, and they then Oladipo, and Oladipo didn't want to be there anyways and can work next to John Wall.